Om Sadashivasamārambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheswara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahi Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahi Om Shanti. Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmyaham. Verse number 130. Ahankaradi dehanta Vishayascha sukhadayah Vedyante ghatavat yena Nityabodhaswarupina. We have discussed this point, that how Ghatavat, how we look at a pot, how it is clearly known to us. Each aspect of the pot, there's not only the shape and size, the utility, the defect, in and out of a pot is being observed, is known to the person. So how it is that? Same thing also, ahankaradi dehanta, beginning from the ego up to this deha, up to this physical body. And of course, in between comes sense objects. And because of which this is sukha and dukkha, the pleasure and pain is being experienced. All these things are to be known clearly as we see the pot. But the problem with us is we see conveniently. We see the way we want. That's why all these things, what happens is a problem. And remember, he says, why, how? This is the Yena Nitya Bodha Swarupina. So in the presence, please understand, in the presence of which, if you observe, all this external knowledge that is being perceived is this Chit Swarupa, is me, the Atma. And again he says, what is that Atma? Let us read. Eswantaratma Purushah Puranah Nirantara Khanda Sukhanubhuti Sadeikarupa Pratibodha Matra Yene Sita Bhaga Savascharanti. So this Esaha Paramatma or Antaratma. So this Atma, which is the innermost. Now what happens is a Purushaha. Purishainatiti Purushaha, because it resides in all the beings. It is a Purana. It is ancient. I think we have seen this verse, if I am right. Okay, how many verses we have gone? Okay, up to this only, yeah? Okay. That's why I am seeing that as though it is a familiar verse. Okay, fine. No problem. We'll go ahead. So now, This, because I remember the Purana, I stretched little bit, so that's why I could catch the story, okay? Or else I would not have caught it, okay? Now, when we look at this, so this particularly, because of that, Nirantara Akhanda Sukhanubhuti. So this Akhanda Sukhanubhuti, it's not a Khanda Vikhandita, it is not partial, it is not broken. Being Akhanda, Akhanda means undivided happiness. Now, Sada Ekarupa, always in one. And Pratibodha Matra, of course, it is reflecting in different ways. And by whose presence, by whose command, Bag Asavaha Charanti iti, the speech and all the pranas are able to function. So that means the Sat Swarupaha, and here it is just Chit Swarupaha. And when it talks, now let us look at what is all about it. Now next line, next verse. Atraiva Sattvatmanidhi Guhayam Abhyakrutakasa Ushat Prakasaham Akasa Uchchai Ravivat Prakashate Swatejasa Vishvamidam Prakasayan. Says beautifully how, let us look at very nicely. If you look at this body, now of course Sattvatmani, so in the mind, so in this body, Atrayavaha, in this physical body, let us look at. Now there is a Sat Atma, here Atma means mind, which is Sattva, full of Sattva. Dhi Guhayam, already we have seen, Dhi Guhayam, always Guhayam means, we say, in the cavity, in the cave of the heart, okay? Which is very much hidden inside, you know that, all the descriptions, everywhere it is there. But we have talked in details in different contexts, why it is being hidden, so also we accept it, okay? In the cave of this intellect, it's completely covered, protected. Abhyakuta akashe ravivat prakasate. Ravi means the Surya, the sun. How the sun shines. If we observe this, sun shines in the high, let us say, 6 minutes takes the sunlight to fall here, okay? So when 6 minutes takes sunlight to fall in this earth, and per second how many miles? 36? Go ahead, okay. Then into goes on and on, 60 into 6. Even though sun is that far away, but it illumines, let us say, the earth very clearly. Let us not get into universe. This earth is being illumined in details. In fact, his effulgence, his heat is being spread all over earth. Now so also the Atma, being innermost, in whose presence everything shines, everything functions, and it's being highlighted that how, that's why we have two types of Akasha. One is external Akasha, external space. Other one is called internal space, Hrudaya Akasha, the space that is in the heart. So when this Hrudaya Akasha, in Hrudaya Akasha, this Atma being present, Now it illumines, and because of its presence, everything shines, because Swa Tejasa, its effulgence is all the functions or the activities happens. And remember, this illumining idam prakashan, this illumining is me. The illumining factor is me. Again, the Chit concept is being highlighted. That means I am the Chit Swarupa iti. Then let us look at the next. Gyata mano aham kriti vikriyanam dehendriya prana kruta kriyanam ayognibattananu vartamanaha na chestate no vikaroti kinchana. Says, now when you look at Gyata mana aham kriti vikriyana. Now mana aham kriti vikriyana, the modification of this manaha, mind, and of course the ego. Then dehendriya pranakuta kriyana, the activities that is being done by this body, sense organs, and of course prana. He gives the example, ayaha agnivat iti. Beautiful concept. The concept is here. Let us look at. When I am connected with my mind, now I am knower. Of course, when in the knowing personality, I, the ego, is connected, I am not only the doer, also enjoyer, wants to take the credit. I know. Me knower is enough, but me knower and want to take credit is dangerous. You understand? And different type of modification takes place. And that is how I keep changing myself. And of course, with reference to the activities of the body, mind, and sense organs, including pranas, my perception towards me changes. If my leg is not working, I am lame. If my ear is not working, I am deaf. And of course, most of the time I am mute, okay? So that is better actually, being mute for some time. That's why I keep you all mute so that I can talk, okay? However, he says beautifully, but unfortunately we come to a conclusion that whatever is being done by my sense organs, including prana or mind, I consider as me. But he gives you an example. It is exactly like ayaha agnivat iti. So the fire, now there is an iron ball, okay? A iron ball is put inside the fire. So when you put the iron ball inside the fire, let us say 1 hour, 2 hours, or few hours, then what happens? The shape and size of the iron ball becomes fire or not? The fire takes up what? The shape and size of iron. So iron ball and fire, there is no difference. Can you see this point? Now, same iron ball, you try to throw it. It starts rolling. Now, as it starts rolling, now tell me, who is burning? Is that iron ball running, burning the things, or the fire inside? Say another example, let us look at. Now, is the fire rolling or or the iron ball is rolling. Same example, look at two sides, okay? Now when that iron ball, you just push it, there is a grass, there is whatnot. Now is the ball, iron ball is burning everything? Definitely not. Iron ball has no capacity to burn anything. Now whatever is burning, it is because of the fire. The light comes because of whose presence? The light and heat both comes because of the fire. Second aspect, now when it is rolling, the movement, is it the movement of the fire or movement of the iron ball? Now, definitely iron ball is moving. Now if the fire thinks I am moving, understand? And the iron ball thinks, hey look, I am burning. What a disaster. Same thing also me and sense organs. In my presence, all sense organs, everything functions. The activities happens, but I am not part of it. Can you see this point? Yes, there is fire in the iron ball, but iron ball doesn't move. Sorry, fire doesn't move. Fire is fire. The iron ball keeps moving, but fire is not moving at all. So also work is happening, but I am not working. Can you see this point? Many things are happening, but I am not doing. The bodies are engaged, mind are engaged in their respective field. I keep doing, you can say. That's why very beautifully in sadhu's language we have. Okay? This body was born in such and such, because आपका शरीर किधर का है? In Hindi, they will ask, they will never ask, Swamiji, where are you from? They will never ask this question. Nobody will ask this question, where are you from? They will say, आपका शरीर किधर का है? Means, where from this body come from? So we have to answer also, शरीर ओडिशा का है ही है. But we have to talk in that same language, okay? They will never ask, Swamiji, where is your ashram? There are many things, there are things to be learned, आपका आस्थान किधर है? आपका आस्थान में sitting place. Where are you sitting? आपका आस्थान किधर है? So you have to understand the language, means which reminds you. That's why when you come to, especially North India, before becoming a sadhu, you have to learn minimum language. Because without learning minimum language, you will not be accepted as a sadhu. In fact, I personally now feel more and more, when you start looking at that way, you develop some type of objectivity. Can you see this point? Maybe that is what I started with understanding, and in between it became a mechanical. But if you have knowledge from mechanical aspect, you can transfer into the knowledge aspect. The moment somebody says, "Aapka asthan kidhar hai? Where is your seat?" Oh, you discover, okay, that means the ashram where you are just being seated for some time, okay? And interestingly, why do they say? They think this ashram means there is a gadi. Gadi means there is a place to sit, okay? A Swami has got a seat. Today when you are out, tomorrow somebody will come and sit there, okay? So don't think that is your post, okay? It's a chair. So again you are being reminded, can you see this point? How many beautiful things behind the way they ask you. So nothing is yours. So you are being reminded, this is called sadhu language, we do talk, this is called sadhu language. Very nicely they say, like, no, we have another language, no? We never say, did you have your breakfast, lunch, dinner, nothing. Khana khaya, khana to bada muskil word hai, okay? In Hindi, khana is, did you have your prasadam? Did you take your prasadam? So the moment you said, did you take your prasadam? So that means itself it creates a buddhi, prasada buddhi in your mind. So that language itself changes our thinking. Sometimes, we are so-called intellectuals. These people do not know what they are talking. But in reality, whether they know or not, if they know, fantastic. Even if they do not know, that they are maintaining this culture, that is something is really amazing. That's why you might have heard also in Mandara time, when they saw, like, Anna means rice, okay? Anna, they will say Anna Ram, they will add Ram to that. Sabji means vegetable, Sabji Ram, they will never say only Sabji. So whatever they saw, Puri Ram. So in everything that they saw, in that behind they will add the word Ram. So to make sure that nothing is different from God. Can you see this point? So these are the really things to be understood. What I am trying to highlight, I am taking here from here. Now, how this iron ball, the relationship between the iron ball and the fire. The iron ball is not affected. Sorry, I made a mistake. Fire is not affected. Suppose this iron ball goes and hits with something. Now the shape and size of iron ball changes. Will fire be affected? Definitely not. But if the fire thinks, hey, I am the iron ball, all sort of complication will happen. There is no doubt in it. So that's why, even though it burns, even though it moves, it does many things. That fire, iron ball. Now fire knows, I am not doing anything. It just happens. Because this iron ball started rolling, many things got burnt. I did not go anywhere. You understand? And if anything goes wrong with the iron ball, sorry, I am not part of it. This is called understanding. Me and my body-mind complex. How it happens, I'll tell you a beautiful way of looking at it. Generally, during death time, this is supposed to happen. That is the key of dying. Why I am saying is, during death time is supposed to happen. If a person goes through a natural death, where there will be no fear, there is no worries and anxieties. Generally, I am just telling you the secret. The prana gets withdrawn. Especially if you do pranayama, starting with Vastrika, and focus more on this retention part, kumbhaka part. Later on, learn to try to breathe through the Sushumna. As you keep doing it, you will discover slowly the prana will be withdrawn from your leg, from your bottom part. As the prana is being withdrawn, slowly prana will get withdrawn from bottom to top, slowly will come up. In fact, all the chakras it will pass through. Now you will discover that you are not associated with your lower part of the body. There the problem happens, lack of maturity, people go crazy during death time. If you observe any dying person, natural death, wherever happens, before death, like 1 hour before, 2 hours before, you will discover their breathing is being withdrawn in this way only. That's why by default, the feet becomes cold, the head becomes hot. I don't know any of you have observed this or not. It's a very nice thing to observe because I have spent enough of time in my life, okay? So now, in the process, what happens? The prana, when it's being withdrawn automatically without your knowledge, many people get into panic. And they succumb to sense of insecurity, voidness. That is how people die. That's why many people die out of fear. That's why sometimes they urinate, or sometimes water comes out this eyes, water, many ways that it happens. Let me not get into other side of it, which is not right at this moment. What I am highlighting here is how this prana is being withdrawn voluntarily, so involuntarily during death time, natural death time. And automatically one can distance, if knowledge is there, practice is there, one can distance oneself. Same thing also can be done at any given moment. To start with, for example, when you close your eyes, the moment you close your eyes, first thing what happens? You forget, or instead of forgetting, you create a distance, that's a better word, between you and the place. Have you not observed? The moment you close your eyes, the place jnana goes out, supposed to. Then of course samaya jnanam, time concept goes away. Have you not observed? Then after that you will discover that you will start distancing yourself. And of course, if your prana is high, if you know how to, that's why we do pranayama and other things before meditation. The sankalpa, pranayama, few other aspect, it's better. That is what will be part of our Vishvamitra Kriya, okay? So we'll take to the different level altogether. So when that is being done, then what happens? Automatically you elevate your prana. So when you elevate your prana, you will discover, even if somebody makes some noise next to you, you will feel as though you are in 10th floor. That fellow is in the ground floor, makes a noise. Can you see this point? The person is in the same level sitting. But you are in the 10th floor, highly elevated. And the person is in the first floor or ground floor. And will that sound affect you? Can you see this concept? So this also can be arrived through these practices. Only that mind will be able to accept and appreciate the knowledge that we are discussing here. So the example, the fireball, is being given very carefully. Everything happens, but I am not doing. That's why there is a beautiful saying. Okay? We say, I forgot the Rishi's name. There is a beautiful talks goes in Katha they talk. Okay, I may change the Rishi's name. No problem. That Krishna sent some gopis. Lord Krishna sends some gopis. This is the Kathakaras they talk. It's not, I don't subscribe, but the concept try to understand. Okay, I'm very clear. But very nice concept. That Yamuna was full. But he thought of sending something to the, I think Rishi, either it is Durvasa or some other, or Agastya, some Rishi. I forgot the Rishi's name, okay? Some lot of food and gifts. So ask this gopis, go and hand over to him. And this gopis asked, this Yamuna is full, how to cross? Don't worry, just tell, O Yamuna, Krishna said that he is Nitya Brahmachari, he is always a Brahmachari. And give the way. And you will discover definitely this Yamuna will give the way. They reached there. So they paid. Then the Rishi was taken. Food. Then after food they said, okay, we want to go back. No, yes, you go back. How will you go back? Yamuna is full. Then the Rishi asked, how did you come? Because while coming, Krishna said, look, tell Yamuna that if Krishna is a Nitya Brahmachari, give the way. And Yamuna gave the way. Then the Rishi, after having food, and he said, look, okay, you go back and tell Yamuna, the river. The Rishi has never eaten anything in life. Oh Yamuna river, if the Rishi said he has never taken anything, never eaten anything, give the way. These people are shocked. What is this? Just now he ate. We gave everything. How come he says that he has not eaten anything? You just go and tell Yamuna. Yamuna has to give the way. And of course, when this gopis they came and asked, oh Yamuna, the Rishi said he has not taken anything in his life. He has not eaten anything in life. Please give the way. And Yamuna gave the way, and they could come back. After coming back, they came and asked, hey, look, Krishna, we love you. Whatever we said, we could believe it. Because we cannot question you, because we love you. That is called love, okay? But we have a problem. You gave a lot of things, we carried and we paid. After eating, he said that, look, go and tell Yamuna that he has not eaten anything. How is it possible? Lord Krishna said, this is called beauty of understanding. I hope you understand the teaching here. How these incidents are being explained through the teaching. But unfortunately, we look at only story part. That's why there is a lot of confusion. Can you see this point? While eating, I am not a eater. While doing, I am not a doer. Can you see this point? While drinking, I am not a drinker. While talking, of course, I am not a talker. That sort of clarity, that sort of difference, that sort of objectivity I must have. And for that, I need to avoid within myself more and more. In fact, today we had a very good, nice talk. I went to the next ashram for some Bhandara. Swamiji asked one point which was real nice. Because in Hindi he was talking, so he said how to present in English one concept. Like all the gods, for example Brahma or Vishnu, let us say, how they are in their place, they live their life with the knowledge. On this regard, we had a very good discussion. There, I had to talk, Swamiji, this is how life is. Acharya should be Acharya for some time. And if the Acharya becomes part of the administration, ashram or setup, it doesn't work. Then we went to another step ahead. That's why all over India, which I have discussed with you all over India we had this concept, now things are vanishing, going away. That any Acharya, like Shankaracharya, for example, they are supposed to be Shankaracharya for a length of time, actually 12 years, technically. Once their 12 years are over, they hand over to the next generation. In fact, they don't stay in that Shankar Math. They go to some other place and stay there. They live their life. Whoever comes, they different way altogether, living life. They never interfere. Because when you are Shankaracharya, because we started with our Kailas Mahamandaleshwara concept, from there we went. Because when you are Shankaracharya, whether you like it or not, you have a lot of responsibility. Being Acharya, you have a lot of responsibility. You have duty, you have responsibility, and also dharma of the area, dharma of the region completely depends upon you. Being Shankaracharya, you can say, no, I will keep quiet because I am afraid of government. You understand? If you are afraid of government, you should not be Shankaracharya. If you are afraid of your Gadi, you are not supposed to be Shankaracharya. I am sorry to say, any Shankaracharya or any Acharya, they should be completely free. They must not be afraid. What I am trying to highlight here is this abiding within one's own self. The knowledge can happen, or one can abide more and more when the person is only committed to the teaching, nothing else. Can you see this part? The moment you start getting associated with something or other, definitely there is a crack in your commitment. I cannot say distance, there is a crack, you understand? And if you do not take care of that crack, definitely there is a distance between you and your commitment. You might be observing well, because of this our regular classes last 1 year, don't you see some differences or change in you? Because whether you like it or not, morning and evening, those who are attending, or evening, whatever you are doing it, of course some of them were attending once in a while. So no problem. Of course you can see the difference. So that's what is being highlighted. How this iron bar, from there I staged, okay, does everything, moves, but the fire is not moving. So also let the body keep doing everything. I am not doing. So that means neither I am here to take credit, nor I am here to take discredit. If somebody puts a flower garland, thank you. If somebody scolds, also thank you. But when somebody scolds, we are very much affected. And equally, when somebody puts garland, we are more affected, because in the night we dream, okay? That is also another type of, affliction. Don't think that that is more affliction. Actually, if somebody puts a garland, throws stones or scolds you, that is actually blessing. Do you know why? You will have some vairagyam towards the person, towards the society. Whereas, if somebody says, oh, puts a garland on you, then next time what happens? Whomsoever will see, wherever will see, will you look for a garland or not? Because I noticed this thing, please don't misunderstand me. Somebody told me, Swamiji, actually sometimes when during this marriage time some garland was being given in reception. Every time if some garland is being given, that will be great. I said that time happened to marriage. Don't expect every day, every time marriage to happen, okay? What I am highlighting here is to understand one's own self and abiding with this understanding. Please understand. Understanding one's own self and abiding with this teaching or with this understanding is entirely different thing altogether. And in order to abide with this teaching or with this understanding, one has to be alert all the time. If alertness goes here and there, if the mind is not available, that's why we say learning to see things as it is, not learning to see the way I want. That's why with this what happens? Let us look at the next verse, or else I'll be talking on this verse, okay? Na jayate no mriyate na vardhate na kshiyate no vikaroti nityaha viliyamanepi vapusyamusmin naliyate kumbha ivambaram swayam. Says beautifully. Always gives an example, okay? Because through the example it becomes easier to understand. Look, kumbha iva ambara swayam. So if we look at, there is a pot. So inside the pot there is space. Now when that space is there, let us say this kumbha, this pot is broken. Now when the pot is broken, does anything happen to the space? Space is independent of everything. Suppose if you keep some bad odor inside the kumbha, because of which the kumbham, the pot smells, it will affect the air, but will it affect the space? If you put some good yasmin, good fragrance, will it affect to the space? It will affect the air. Will it affect space? Will the space affect? It will never get affected at all. So space is independent of the pot. Can you see this point? So how is it? Same thing also it says, na jayate, na umriyate, na vardhate, na kshiyate, na vikarati, na viliyamane, all these things. And what is that? Bapusi. Bapusi means it's body. Bapu. So in the body, because body is considered as a pot. What a beautiful description, huh? So whenever you look at a pot, think of this body, okay? Problem is this pot, this body is ever growing or ever elastic pot. You understand? Sometimes stomach comes out, sometimes comes out. You understand? Sometimes hand comes out. Each person starts coming out, okay? Bulging, ever bulging pot, you can say. However, says, no jayate iti. It is not born. No umriyate. That means body is born, but I am not born. The pot is born, but not the space. In that case. Now priyate, of course this body dies, falls down, not me. Now vardhate, remember the body grows, not me. Now kshiyate, even if the decay happens to the body, not to me. Now who vikaroti, of course doesn't undergo any sort of changes either. But what does this mean? Nityaha, eternal. Viliyamane apihi, even if all these things are destroyed. What is that? The body. Almost mean na liyate iti. That mean is never dissolved. And how? Kumbhe iva ambaram swayam. How the space in the pot is independent of pot. Even though the space is inside the pot, but is independent of pot. Can you see this pot? That is called independence. That is why we do not talk independence. We say, look, no, living, be free. Like that's why all the time in Shastra we highlight the example of Padma Patra Iva Ambhasa. The water is on the lotus leaf. That is called independence. Independence is not separation. We think this is what the wrong thing has been taught. This is especially Western society, Western thinking. Independence means being separated. Everybody wants to be independent. Independence is not separation. Independence is something what? It's like, being in the place you are indifferent. Can you see this point? Being with a person you are indifferent. Being with situation you are indifferent. Being associated with anybody and everybody you are indifferent. How? This water on the lotus leaf. The lotus leaf never runs away from the water. In fact, it's born in water, grows in water, but is untouched by water. Can you see this point? That is called learning to be indifferent. And this indifference happens when there is knowledge. Have you not observed? The more you have knowledge, the more you become indifferent. That is how the truth is. So the knowledge makes you to see everything differently altogether. That's why he says, look, this is how the truth, the reality is. Let us read the next verse, okay? Bilasati, Prakriti Vikruti Bhinna Suddha Bodha Swabhava. Sadas Saridam Ashesham Bhasayat Nivisheshah. Bilasati Paramatma Jagradadi Swavastha. Swah Mahamiti Sakshat Saksirupena Buddhe. Now says, look. Then what does that mean? Prakriti Vikruti Bhinnaha. So Prakriti Vikruti Bhinna means, Prakriti means, here we can take it as based on the Nyayika, that we have all the different type of Prakritis. If you want to take on based on Vedanta, you can say Sattva Raja Tama 3 gunas. Both way it's okay, acceptable. So let us say, so I am someone who is different from Prakriti, all these 3 gunas, and Vikruti, the modification of the Prakriti. Because Prakriti also, the Sattva Raja Tama 3 gunas also goes through the modification. So different from all the 3 gunas and its modification. Okay, then who is me? Suddha Buddha Swabhava iti. I am someone Suddha, pure, Bodha, knowledge. So my nature is Suddha and Buddha. And of course, Sat Asat Idam Ashesham Bhasayam Nirvishesha. I am someone free from both manifested and unmanifested world. That's something really to be seen it.